Views expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of WPSL, but we have encouraged you all along to like and share them on social media and with all your friends and neighbors, because independent insurance agent Rudy Howard at this time each week presents the African American Scene, and hosted by, of course, the one and only Rudy Howard.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Always glad to be with you here on a Wednesday night. There's an awful lot going on in the world. Well, I still have some prizes left over from Black History Month. So I'm going to continue to offer you an opportunity to win a prize with my trivia. But the trivia questions going forward will be challenging. The question for tonight is, who were the Etruscans? Who were the Etruscans? And what continent are they from? You're going to have to do some work to win this one. I also want to tell you that starting tonight, each show, I'm going to try to start with a positive message before I get into my agenda. Next week, I will have a guest for you. I talked to you about it before. My frat brother and friend who wrote a book about Robert Little, and he will talk to us about his evolution from the courtroom to a children's writer. Should be interesting. He's a very interesting guy, very bright guy. Here's a health piece of health information for you that's worthwhile. On April 1st, they're going to have the 11th annual health summit. It will be held at Willoughby Golf Club, 3001 Southeast Doubleton Drive, Stuart, Florida. And it is free, and it is geared toward women. And they're going to talk about brain health and brain health across the lifespan. So put that on your calendar, and if you're available, please see if you can make that event. And this is part of my support for the YMCA of the Treasure Coast. Okay. Jason Arday from England, when he was born, could not speak until he was 11 years old and could not read or write until his teens. At 27, he wrote on his mother's wall that someday he wanted to be a professor at Cambridge, Oxford at Cambridge, one of the most prestigious schools in the world. And today, Jason Arday is the youngest Black professor at Cambridge University. What a tremendous climb over many, many obstacles. But he is a very successful man today. I think that's a real good way to start. And I will try to offer you a positive story each week when we start the program. Tonight, I want to talk about the Dominion lawsuit. I think this is extremely important. Extremely important. The lawsuit was filed in the Delaware Superior Court. I want to do this especially because I know most of my listeners are of the conservative ilk. And I don't believe this story is being talked about on the Max channel or any of the other channels, and certainly not on the Fox channel. But I think it is very, very, very important for you to understand. In this lawsuit, Dominion sues Fox for defamation of character. Dominion alleges Fox allowed the Fox, Dominion alleges Fox allowed the Fox network personalities to propagate lies that injured their company. That's the basis of the lawsuit. They feel the lies that were brought forth by Fox personalities cause injury to their business. Fox knew them to be lies. That's part of the allegation, that Fox knew they were lies. These lies hurt the reputation of Dominion. Fox, they allege, had a duty to stop them. Dominion sent numerous emails advising Fox of their false information. So not only did they lie, but Dominion sent emails to Fox advising them that the information that they were giving to the public was false. From a Reuters news report, Dominion is asking the court for $1.6 billion. That's $1.6 billion. And if you want to call in and comment about this, my phone number is 340-1590. That's 340-1590. They go on to state, Fox allowed or stated the Dominion machines were used to rig the 2020 election against Donald Trump. I think there's a lot of us that may have heard that story being said on the Fox News Network. Some of the proof: they have internal communications and depositions. Depositions are statements made under oath about a particular set of facts of the claim. So when attorneys take depositions, they are attempting to get you to admit to certain facts and particulars about the lawsuit through a deposition. Now, Reuters advises not all of the documents have been released. So what I am telling you about are those documents, a summary of those documents I've been able to get my hands on. One of the interesting aspects of this whole case so far has been the Murdoch testimony. Now, Murdoch, who was born in Melbourne, Australia, owns hundreds of local and national and international publishing companies. So that is who Murdoch is. What should happen? They asked Murdoch, what should happen to people? You get the correct statement. They asked, what should happen to news stations and anchors who knowingly lie to the public on broadcasts? His response: they should be reprimanded and maybe dismissed. That's pretty deep. That was directly from Murdoch in his deposition. I have a couple of other questions and answers here that came from him in his deposition. And I think they're important because I'm not making this up. I want you to hear exactly what he had to say. Question: you are aware now that Fox did more than simply host these guests and give them a platform, correct? Answer: I think you know. I think you've shown me some material in support of that. In fact, question: in fact, you are now aware that Fox endorsed at times this false notion of a stolen election. His response: no, not Fox, no. Not Fax, but maybe Lou Dobbs, maybe Maria as commentators. We went through, question, we went through Fox host Maria Bartoloma, and Fox host Janine Pirro. I think so. Question: Fox business host Lou Dobbs? Oh, a lot. Fox host Sean Hannity? A bit. All in that document, correct? Yes, they were. Those people are openly admitted to telling untruths about the election. Now, here's another question. about Fox endorsing the narrative of a stolen election, correct? Answer: no, some of our commentators were endorsing it. Question: about their endorsement of a stolen election? Yes, they endorsed. That's questions and answers from Murdoch himself admitting that some of his commentators lied about a stolen election. I'm going to tell you in summary why this is important in a few minutes. Did he give his hosts a platform to knowingly and recklessly disregard the truth? One of the major issues in this defamation case, knowingly and recklessly disregard the truth. Murdoch admitted Fox hosts, except Tucker Carlson, endorsed false election information. For some of you listening right now, I'm sure you're getting a wow factor out of this, that he, the leader of this organization, a multimillionaire, was allowing this to go on at his station. He also admitted it was wrong to allow his hosts to host Mike Lindell, the My Pillow guy, to repeat the allegations about Dominion voting machines. He admitted that that was wrong, okay? And we have a caller on line one.
Daniel's with us. Daniel?
Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, Rudy. Daniel, long time. I hadn't talked to you.
Yeah.
I just had a quick question for you. Do you think that the cover-up of the Hunter Biden top made a difference in the election?
No.
You don't? Oh, okay. Because and one more thing is that I thought that the other stations like CNN, MSNBC, NBC, they lie all the time.
They do?
Oh yeah.
Well, let me make this statement right here, Daniel, because this is a debate I've been having with someone else. If you listen closely to MSNBC, I think it would not be right of me not to characterize that they are more on the liberal side. But what I think you will also find if you listen to them, they do not propagate lies. They make their positions and opinions and support them with fact. Rachel Maddow does. Let me finish, Daniel, then you can talk.
Okay.
Okay. Rachel Maddow is a meticulous person about making sure the information that she provides, she can document with fact. Also, if you ever listen to Ari Melber, who is a lawyer also, he too documents his positions with fact. I would also tell you, if you look back over the history, MSNBC has fired people who they felt were too much of an extreme on the left. That all of that is absolutely true, Daniel.
Well, they did keep calling that Hunter Biden story a conspiracy theory, and that was a lie. That turned out to be true.
What's true about Hunter Biden?
That laptop, all the evidence on there that he was on the take from China, Ukraine, Russia, and all his family was too.
Well,
including Joe.
I don't know that there's any evidence of that his family, which you're trying to imply that Joe Biden also was receiving some of those funds. I don't.
Yeah, they called him the big guy.
Well, I don't know that that's a fact. But I mean, I'm certainly in favor of them trying to investigate Hunter's laptop. I have no problem with that. But to say that Joe Biden was necessarily receiving funds from that, I think is inaccurate and unsupported by any fact.
Well, I hope they come to the bottom of it, and it doesn't look good for the Bidens. Yeah. And one more question: are you missing Trump yet?
No, not at all.
And the price of everything's too high.
Well, that's your opinion, but I would tell you, Joe Biden has done up to this point, I think, a very admirable job. He's gotten us an infrastructure. He's gotten us an infrastructure plan. He has brought down inflation, and he's got the lowest unemployment in the last 50 years. So
you're the only person I've ever heard say that.
Well, it's true
that he's done a good job. I don't think.
Well, so. Okay, that's my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, sir.
And say hello again.
Thank you very much. And we're going to go to Steve. Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Yes, Steve.
You doing good, Rudy?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Not on a speakerphone. Sounding good.
I'm not on a speaker.
Right. Then you're on the air. Just trust us on that. You're loud and clear.
By the way, this Hunter Biden thing, nobody's ever laid a glove on that. And as far as Biden himself, he's done a fantastic job. Just take a look at the economy when we're supposed to be in the ditch, and we're not. We're on the road.
Right.
So now, given Carlson, or whatever his name is, from the fascist old extremist network, he's just going to cherry pick sound bites and try to start trouble. But he's a nobody, Carlson. He's a nothing.
But you know what, Steve? He's scary because there are people that believe in him like the Bible. He has the ability to garner support from the far right. And most of them believe his every word, even though he lies just terribly.
Well, did they believe the big red wave that was supposed to crush us, according to Carlson?
Didn't happen.
He couldn't even drown an ant with it.
And I think
you can't believe anything that Tucker Carlson says. He's just a stooge for a propaganda station. That's it.
Yes.
So there are people that will believe him, but there are people that will believe that the moon is made out of cheese too. So
yeah,
go where you want with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I just thought I would call and tell you that this whole thing is just set up for 2 more years of charges and counter charges with no proof, no evidence. And it's like the Republicans; they don't have a platform to run on, so they're running on conjecture. You know, they're running on wild theories.
Agreed.
I'd like to hear what your other guests have to say, so I'll let you go.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you.
Well,
I happen to really share his opinion about Tucker Carlson, and I think he's a dangerous man to the United States as a whole. And I will get into that more. And again, if I'm willing to listen to your opinion, that phone number is 340-1590.
And you got another caller.
And we have a caller on line 1.
Joe. Right ahead, Joe.
Hello. Is the noise okay?
It's not making it. I'm trying to keep it down as long as I can. Just go ahead and talk normal into the microphone, and it should work.
Okay. Thank you. Rudy, I was just listening to you for the last 10 minutes or so. And I know you're a local business person, but I got a suggestion. Apply for a job at MSNBC. You'll fit in well.
Joe, I do not aspire for a job at MSNBC. What I try to do.
I'm not in the mood for an argument, but after hearing what you just said, and then the previous caller, Biden's doing a wonderful job. I just left Publix, $6 for a dozen eggs, $9 for a pound of bacon. You got to be kidding me! He's doing a fine job.
Well,
I hear people like that. I say, what world are they living in? They're not living in the same world I am.
Well, the inflation rate, according to economists, went from 7.9 down to 5.4%.
Oh, stop with that stuff. Go to Publix and price out things.
I understand.
Stop, will you?
I understand.
I can't take this. Goodbye.
Okay. All right. So, okay. So, Joe Biden is responsible for the cost of eggs and the cost of bacon. That's your opinion. I respect your opinion. But like I said, the economist said the rate of inflation has gone from 7.9% down to 5.4%. So this has happened on his administration. And so that is what it is. Now, I would not deny that there's some inflation. That's for sure. Okay, let me try to sum up this thing here. Defamation suits are one of the most difficult cases to make. One of the most difficult cases to make because of our value of free speech in the First Amendment. To make a defamation case, you must prove that the defendant knowingly and recklessly made false statements. Now, that is what is required for a defamation case. And we have Chris. Yes, sir.
How you doing tonight?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Miles. He answered your question about 2 weeks ago, and he wanted me to come on and check on it because he answered it, and he haven't received a call.
And is that for Miles?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. give Cliff your address, because the phone number that I wrote down before, I called and I was unable to get Miles on the phone. But if you give me his address and Miles' last name, I will make sure that he gets that prize. I still have it.
Okay, I'll get that off the air, of course.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right. Thanks for your call. Yeah, no problem. We'll take care of that. Okay. Let me tell you, this is my thoughts about this case. In my opinion, and not that of this radio show station, the Dominion lawsuit is going to be one of the most important of our lifetime, no matter which way it turns out. And here's my reasons why. The issue is, does free speech include the right to purposely include intentionally false information to the public? That's part of this lawsuit. And we're working on free speech, but does free speech allow that? Is it okay to tell untruths that harm our democracy? Is it okay? Are you allowed to make untrue statements that cause division in our country? If the matter is settled, we won't have a final answer, but it will affect what talking heads can say, and it already has. If it goes to judgment and there is a ruling in Dominion's favor, which appears to be likely, it will no doubt make its way to the Supreme Court. Given the composition of our court at this time, the outcome would be a question mark. In my mind, for sure, it is my hope that an outcome against Fox could go a long way to help heal the divide in our country. It is my belief a lot of what divides us is based on lies and conspiracy theories. A judgment would not be to injure conservatism, but to bring it back to where the majority of Americans are. I honor the fact that there are no sides of an issue that objective debate is not, that is warranted. And I believe those of a different mindset should be allowed to communicate their position. But where we are now with the allowing of conspiracy theories and lies to permeate the American public, it is endangering the experiment of our democracy continuing as the founders were to have it. And we got another caller on line 1.
No, we don't.
No? Okay.
I gave you Miles' address.
Okay. So there you have it. And I think Fox is a major contributor to our country's division because of its strong viewership. I also believe they had a responsibility to not allow the perpetuation of lies. And to further support this as being a problem, they told one of their news people that he was not allowed to cover this lawsuit. And so he has been forbidden to speak about it on Fox. So all of you that listen to Fox and are not hearing about this particular lawsuit, you're not getting the full picture. Calling up and telling me that other stations lie, which is the standard conservative position, does not take away the fact that this has been an injury to our country. I strongly believe that allowing such things to perpetuate only serves to divide us further. I think we are already divided enough. And I kind of long for the days when Democrats and Republicans could sit at a table and there be disagreement, but not hostility and hate. Where did that go? Not sure where that went. And one of the issues is there can only be one truth, not red truth, not blue truth, but truth. We got to get back there. We have got to get back there. Not sure how we're going to do it, but that is where we got to be. Back with dealing with the truth. Back to dealing with issues in an objective manner. Telling the entire country the election was rigged when it wasn't has caused untold damage. And I would say the perpetuation of that lie is part of what propelled people on January 6th, believing that a dishonest election took place in which their preferred leader was not re-elected as president. And I want you to take a look back when Gore versus Bush, that presidential election was a separation of 531 votes, I believe. Gore had won the majority. And there were issues in that election, especially that took place in Florida, which I could tell you about, in which his people wanted him to go on and fight the outcome, but he wouldn't. And in his statement, when he stopped them from continuing with legal maneuvers regarding that election, he said the country is more important. Imagine that. And I can tell you, as a resident here in Florida, he had a legitimate argument for pursuing the outcome of that election. When Hillary lost to Trump, she had 3 million more votes than he did, and she lost due to the Electoral College. It was a devastating blow to her, but she acknowledged the fact that she lost the election. Now we have Trump, who lost by 8 million votes, and he says the election was stolen. I want you to think about that for a second. And most of you conservatives have said over and over, you don't like people who claim to be victims. So what is it that Trump is claiming? He's claiming to be a victim of unfairness and mistreatment. Well, I pray to God, and I have prayed many times, that we can get to a point where we all can see clearly that many of these arguments are bogus. And these arguments are intentionally designed to create mistrust in our voting process. And I also would say that as far as voting is concerned, and I don't care if you're red or blue, there should be a process that encourages everybody to vote, not a process that is designed to limit the amount of votes. That, I think, is just not patriotic and un-American. And if you're doing that strictly for a power grab, that too is un-American. The basis of our system is very simple. The idea behind our democracy is to present your platform and your ideas, and the one who attracts the most people to that platform or idea wins. That's it. Not complicated. If you present your information to the public, and the public at large likes your ideas better than the other person, then you should win. And if you can't, then you lose. And all of this whining about unfair elections and votes being stolen, when there's no objective, I'm repeat now, no objective evidence that this took place, all you have done is caused further division, and that is not healthy for our democracy. And I'm imploring you to take some time and think about that. Think about that fact that we are creating this division for the sake of power. That's not our election process. Our election process requires that you have best ideas. That's why I'm against the Electoral College. I think the Electoral College is the very thing that causes us division. And the reason why I think so is it allows a candidate to pander to a specific region or state based on trying to secure their votes. If there was no electoral college, then those people from the red side would be required to sell their ideas to the blue states in order to win. And I think that's okay. I really do. I think you could do it if you took ideas and policies to blue states that they found attractive, you would win. And in the absence of that, you won't win. So that's my statement about the Electoral College. If you agree or disagree, we're down to the last few minutes. I will entertain your call, 340-1590. I just kind of poured my heart out to you about my state of where our politics are and my hope for a better future for our country. And I think we can and should have a better future based on policies and programs that are in support of a better America. To me, that's what it's all about. I want to hear your ideas that will present a better America. So let's hear it. We got about 5 minutes left. 340-1590. If you want to comment on anything I had to say, 340-1590. And we will soon still hear about this Dominion lawsuit. It's supposed to go to trial on April 17th. And I beg you, conservatives, please listen to the facts, because I truly believe when you hear the facts regarding what took place, you will see much as what I've said is true. And if you say that all stations lie, I don't accept that. And the reason being, as a person who watches MSNBC as well as other channels, and I don't watch CNN, I've seen MSNBC dismiss people who were too far to the left. They're not at the station anymore. And Tiffany Cross, who had a Saturday show, who I happen to like, got dismissed for making statements about Tucker Carlson, which at the time were unproven. But those statements she made were true, as have been verified in this investigation of interviews and depositions taken by Fox personnel. So some state, and that's people who said things that were too far to the left. And of all of those people that got dismissed, even Tiffany Cross, I agreed with the fact that she made statements that at the time were unproven, and that was not representative of the position that our people should receive from any news organization. So think about it very carefully, and I implore you, don't take my word for it. If you watch MSNBC, while it may have most definitely a liberal tilt, they base their opinions on facts and documents that can support those positions. And I find no fault with that. And I think all news organizations should do that. And I think this most recent thing of McCarty giving 41,000 hours of tape to Tucker Carlson was wrong. So there you have it. The African American scene for Wednesday, March 1st. And I hope you all a wonderful week. God bless and be safe. And I will see you next Wednesday right here for the African American scene.
The African American Scene with Rudy Howard, Wednesday evenings in the 6 p.m. hour, and on YouTube under WPSLTV.com. Thanks for joining us, and join us every Wednesday night. And tune in and chime in as well. And thanks for being with us.